Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about the Springfield XDs 9mm pistol. Pistol you see here is the Springfield XDs. It is a single stack, which is what the S stands for in XDS. It's a pretty small, compact little pistol that's still a decent size that handles the 9mm recoil fairly well. So quick specs on it. It is a 3.3-inch barrel. They did make a 4.0 version, so it'd be just a hair longer, and then you can get these in 9mm or 45 ACP. My buddy has one in 45, and he does not care for it. So it's one that he has stopped carrying because he's just over that. He doesn't like the small compact frame with 45 ACP. So the XDM9 is a pretty solid little shooter. I bought it used probably 7 years ago, I'd say. And at the time I was carrying my XDM quite a bit, as I mentioned in the previous video, which I will link up here. And I wanted something skinnier but maintaining those kind of same ergonomics. So the XDS was something I found on the used market, and at the time it had a Crimson Trace laser on the front of it. So for the price, I think I got it for like $325 or $350 used, and it came with a laser. I thought that was kind of a good deal because the lasers themselves were like 120 to 150 bucks, and I wanted to just kind of play around with it. Nothing really to report on the laser itself, just it almost makes it too easy. You just turn it on and where the laser is where the bullet's going to go. So I don't exactly advocate for using one of those. Now, I'm not a tactical individual. I was never in the military. I never served. I don't know anything about tactics besides, you know, the stuff you consume on YouTube, and I just never really cared for a laser. It's nice for the range, it's nice for confidence, if you will, but it really takes the mechanical needs out of it. You don't have to focus on your fundamentals or learning how to shoot well. You just put the laser where you want it and shoot it. So it's got pros and cons. Obviously, if you have a laser wiggling around in a room, people are going to see that. So if you're trying to, you know, protect your home or something like that, and you're clearing a corner and you've got a laser tracking along, that's not the greatest thing in the world. So I did take the laser off after using it for a little while. It also doesn't fit in my sticky holster, which is what I have carried this with, is this little sticky holster here. So the cool thing about this, real quick, this is a sticky holster, and it is the MD4. It fits my Walther PPS as well. So I have used the XDS and the Walther PPS in this, and as you can see, it covers up the trigger guard pretty well. Now, obviously, something maybe could get down in there. Seeing as it's not a Kydex holster, it's not a firm fit, it does have some flexibility in there. But the possibility of something depressing the grip safety, the trigger safety, and squeezing the trigger is pretty low. This thing worked very well. I would just tuck it in my waistband. You don't need a clip or anything on it, and it sticks pretty well. I do like the sticky holster. I have enjoyed using that. Quick specs on the gun itself. So it is a 3.3-inch barrel, as denoted over here, 3.3. It does have a roughly 6.3-inch long slide. It is just under an inch wide at 0.9 inches, so it's pretty skinny there. And then it does come with magazines that are 7 or 8 round capacity. The 7-rounder does have a little extension on it for your pinky, so you can see you can get a pretty decent grip on it. And my pinky doesn't hang too much at all. And the 8-rounder gives you even more to grip on too. So not bad at all there. The grip itself does come with your kind of typical XDM, XDS texture modules, or whatever the hell you want to call them. It doesn't say gripzone on there, so you're going to have to figure out how to hold it on your own. But yeah, the grip isn't bad. It isn't really too abrasive. It's just kind of like a nice amount of grip and texture to it there. The undercut isn't too bad at all. I can get my middle finger in there and it kind of holds it well. Magazine release is ambidextrous, so on either side. Slide lock and takedown are only on the left. So it's pretty typical pistol configuration there. It does have a little bit of texture in the front of it, and then like I said, it does have the rail for lights, lasers. Going up to the slide now, it does have fiber optic sights, so you can see that it's got white sights in the back, and then the front is a red fiber optic. In this case, you can change that out to orange, green, whatever you would like there. The slide does have rear serrations, and I will use the GoPro up front here to kind of see they are pretty deep. Like, you can really get a hold of them if you need to. It does have a loaded chamber indicator that pops up on the top there, so if for some reason you have to run your hand across it to see if it's loaded or not, that will stick up and let you know there. The sights, when you use them, get your good grip on it, take a peek, and it's pretty intuitive, with especially down here. The basement's very well lit with a couple of lights that I have going, so that red fiber optic sight really stands out, and it makes it pretty easy to line up. I have shot this, you know, fairly well. I enjoy it. It's never really had an issue. If I can get this stupid magazine in there to hold it, whatever. Yeah, I never really had a problem with it. I shoot it decently well. I don't mind the recoil on it at all. it's actually fairly manageable in this little frame. With an empty gun, it weighs about 23 ounces, so it's not terribly weighty. Very comparable would be a Glock 43. That's about 20.64 ounces, so it is a little bit of a heavier gun than that. It's not terrible. You don't really notice it too much. Most of that, in my opinion, is because of the slide. Just the slide is very thicker, if you will, or more built than a Glock 43 slide is. So the slide serrations, like I said, are very nice. I like how deep they are. You can really get a hold of it. And overall, I enjoyed the pistol. Like I said, it's been good to me. Takedown on it's pretty simple. Obviously, magazine's empty, chamber's clear, but you lock the slide to the rear. Take your little lever here, slide it up, squeeze that trigger, off comes. So pretty simple there for the takedown, recoil spring assembly, and your little 3.3-inch barrel. Some of you know what this is like. So yeah, pretty easy to take care of, very easy to maintain. It is a very safe way to take the gun apart, because even though you do have to pull the trigger, you have to lock it to the rear. So if there was a round in there, it should be ejected, and you can't do it with magazine in it. So pretty easy, pretty safe to take down there. Like I said, it is an easy firearm to maintain. And I have carried it, like I said, for a couple of years. I decided to carry it. I now have a P365 XL that will work into my rotation probably this coming spring. I need to go shoot it, possibly change the optic on it. But the XDS has been something that I have used fairly regularly, that if I'm running somewhere in town or I just want to grab something quick, I will grab this guy, or I'll grab my Walther PPS and make use of the sticky holster. But yeah, it's a solid little pistol. Shooting in the range, I've never had a problem with it. I've always picked it up very easily. It's a solid little shooter. Now, like I said, it is an XD series. It has a design very similar to the XDM, so it can be plagued with those same issues. And like I said, I'll link that XDM video in the description. Also pop up a little bubble up here. And that way you can go watch it for yourself and see what those issues could be. But mine has not had any issues. So take that for what it's worth. Just like everything else on this channel, this is my experience with it. These are my firearms, or firearms that we buy for the channel. So it's my experience. Yours can be totally different. If you have a different experience, talk about it. Drop it in the comments. We'll talk about them there, see what you think of them. The XD series gets plenty of hate on the internet. So comment and see what you think of it. If you've got one, let me know. But yeah, I like it. It was reasonably priced. Even now, if you want to get a used one, you can probably get a pretty reasonably priced XDS. I haven't seen one, at least my local places, in a little while, but I would anticipate around that $300 range. So not terrible. As I've stated, things like the P365 or the Springfield Hellcat, there are double stack micro compacts that are smaller than this, hold more than this, but they're more expensive. If what you can afford is one of these, great. Buy it, buy ammo, get training, shoot it, use it. I've been harping on that, and Mark was talking about the last video. I need to get better about it myself. I plan on changing that this year as well. If you've got one of these, train with it, get better with it. If that's all you got, that's what you got. So don't shy away from training, don't shy away from using it. Don't just take it to the range once a year and shoot it and be like, oh, I'm pretty good with firearm. Find a class, even if it's an intro to pistol, and then you find something where you practice, you know, drawing it and presenting and things like that. Like, go take classes, find a good gun range, go make use of them. If you're in the Twin Cities in Minnesota here, and the South Metro specifically, I prefer the Modern Sportsman. That is my place to go. I'm a member there. I like that place a lot. The staff are awesome, the range is awesome. A lot of good things going on there. So if you're in the South Metro of Minnesota, the Modern Sportsman in Burnsville is a place to go check out. Shout out to them because I enjoy them quite a bit. I like the XDS. Like I said, it's a good sized little pistol. Not too big, not too small. The grip is about perfect size for my hands. I can get a nice grip on it. I can present it well, and the sights line up very easily. So you always have to worry about the grip safety. I personally have not had problems with it, but if you got some of the grip safety, you got to be prepared that you could have that issue. So you need to practice. Make sure you get a good grip on it, get that grip safety depressed, and then also you have trigger safety in there. Trigger safety obviously will not let you pull the trigger back. You have to depress that, and there's your creep. That's your wall, and a little bit extra gives you the break. And the reset, pretty tactile, back on that wall. So it's not a bad trigger in it, pretty decent. As the XDMs have pretty nice triggers, the XDS has nice triggers as well. So if you have enjoyed watching the content so far, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. I harped on you guys a couple of videos back about our percentages. I am happy to report that we are now at 1.1% of you that are subscribed, so that's a nice improvement from the, I believe it was 0.8. So I appreciate that. Continue to hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Things like the 360, something like I now have a P3.